It's out there now. The league and the refs do nothing to protect her. Damn.
Let's get into this now. The poster that they dropped last night, like the 30-year commemorative thing, which that you're on it, that's cool.
Why would you ever put me on it?
But people are up in arms that Caitlyn's not on it, and then also watching her get kind of her ass kicked last night. I do see everyone.
The silence from the league office is deafening. While the WNBA tries to celebrate 30 years of history with a commemorative poster that looks like it was randomized by a computer, Sophie Cunningham just threw a Molotov cocktail into the boardroom. In a raw, unfiltered podcast appearance, the Phoenix Mercury guard did what most players are terrified to do. She called the Emperor naked. While the league actively watches Alyssa Thomas and other veterans physically target Caitlin Clark with impunity, Cunningham is screaming into the void. But it's not just about the physicality, it's about the hypocrisy. Sophie Cunningham is looking at the WNBA's marketing department and asking the question that nobody in power wants to answer. Why are they actively sabotaging their own golden goose? Sophie Cunningham's rant wasn't just a venting session, it was a tactical nuclear strike on the league's front office. While the narrative has focused on the Caitlin Clark effect, bringing unprecedented eyes to the league, Cunningham flipped the script to expose the rot underneath. She knows that while Clark is getting kneed and cheap-shotted, in the paint, the front office is busy slapping Sophie's own face on a poster instead of the generational talent who is actually selling out arenas. It reveals a deep psychological warfare within the league, a resentment from the veterans towards the new queen, supported by a silent, complicit administration. Cunningham's honesty isn't just gossip, it's a warning shot that the dam is about to break on the WNBA's dirty laundry. She is essentially picking up the microphone and daring Commissioner Kathy Engelbert to fine her for the truth. To understand the magnitude of Sophie Cunningham's outburst, we have to look at the immediate fallout of the Alyssa Thomas incident. The physical assault on Caitlin Clark, where the league did nothing, the referees swallowed their whistles, and Alyssa Thomas walked away without a review, is the inciting incident. Cunningham looked at the tape and realized the entire system is rigged against the rookie phenom. But Sophie Cunningham didn't stop at calling out the physicality. She directly connected it to the psychological breakdown of her own team.
Average, I think, around 80 points, and we let them score like 111. Our defense is horrible, and I think everyone knows that. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I just like sometimes the of a season, it's like you're on a high.
Again, Sophie, hate to break it to you, but that is throwing your coach under the bus. Which, at least you kept it real. I mean, she's a defensive coach. She holds the responsibility for that.
Sometimes you're on a low when it's on the grind.
Sophie Cunningham is effectively putting her own head coach, a supposed defensive guru, on blast. This is the strategic consequence of the league's lack of protection. If referees let Alyssa Thomas and others physically brutalize the league's biggest star without consequences, the intensity of the league turns into a lawless street fight. Cunningham is watching her team get lit up for 111 points, while the narrative is dominated by whether or not Caitlin Clark is getting bullied. Her frustration is palpable because she knows her team's defensive struggles are a microcosm of the league's bigger issue, a lack of consistency and leadership. The Mercury are supposed to be contenders, but Sophie is admitting they haven't clicked yet, directly linking their on-court regression to the chaotic, violent atmosphere the WNBA is fostering. If the league's best players are worried about getting cheap-shotted, how can they focus on the X's and O's? Cunningham is telling us that the Alyssa Thomas incident has created a siege mentality that is destroying team chemistry and defensive integrity across the board. This goes deeper than just one game. This is an investigation into the veteran psychology that Sophie Cunningham is courageously exposing. There is a palpable jealousy radiating from players like Alyssa Thomas and veterans like Diana Taurasi. They spent their careers in relative obscurity, working their tails off for a league that barely paid attention. Then Caitlin Clark walks in, drawing viewership numbers that dwarf the NBA, and the old guard is furious. Sophie Cunningham's analysis cuts through the noise. She admits that Caitlin Clark is bullied and that it is a systemic target. This is a direct indictment of the veteran code of earning your stripes, which has now morphed into a dangerous vendetta.
This type of shit happens every single game to her, and the league and the refs do absolutely nothing about it.
It's been a minute since you
Kathy Engelbert, you and your league just got thrown under the bus.
got fined on this podcast.
I have, but then like you see the videos of like literally kneeing and cheap shotting C in the throat. Like if she did that to any of our teammates, we'd be pissed. But like they're definitely targeting her, and the league and the refs do nothing to protect her.
Sophie Cunningham is directly naming Kathy Engelbert. She is calling the leadership a joke for allowing this targeting to persist. In previous eras, when players like Sue Bird or Candace Parker were the faces, the league might have been smaller, but there was a level of respect. Now Cunningham is pointing out that the league is so fractured, so insecure, that they are actively policing their own superstar. She compares the situation to the lack of legends on the poster: Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, all absent. Cunningham is cleverly arguing that the league has always had a marketing problem, but now, with Caitlin Clark, they have no excuse. The physical targeting is a psychological warfare tactic to keep Clark in her place, to remind her that despite the ratings, she is still a rookie in their league. Cunningham's call-out is a deep, analytical breakdown of a locker room culture that has turned toxic. The financial and team chemistry fallout of Sophie Cunningham's rant is apocalyptic. If the league refuses to market Caitlin Clark, they are leaving billions on the table. Cunningham's confusion is legitimate. She points out that if they were smart, they would market this expletive out of some of us, meaning the league should use the hype to elevate everyone. Instead, the WNBA is alienating its biggest star, risking the ire of a massive new fanbase, and allowing the Alyssa Thomas hard foul narrative to dominate the headlines. Sophie Cunningham is essentially airing the dirty laundry of the franchise-altering impact of this mismanagement. By putting Sophie Cunningham, a role player by her own admission, on the poster while leaving off Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, the league is sending a clear message. We don't care about the ratings, we care about the culture war.
They don't.
Well, you're on.
They
here,
don't.
At least
I should never. That should be Caitlin. That should be Kelsey Mitchell. That should be Aaliyah Boston. Like, why are we putting random players on there? I'm one of them.
Do you know she has beef with other big people who aren't on this, like Diana or Sue, or like I don't think Candace Parker's on here. Like, it is.
He brought them up. I mean, yeah. Why aren't they on there too? Seriously,
It's a bit strange.
This is the high-stakes climax. Cunningham mentions the beef and the sheer bizarre nature of the snub. The immediate consequence is that Caitlin Clark's agent is being called out for failing to protect her client, both from the elbows of Alyssa Thomas and the incompetence of the marketing department. If the WNBA loses Caitlin Clark to a erupt deal, or if this constant assault takes the joy out of the game, the entire economic bubble of the league bursts. Cunningham is the canary in the coal mine, desperately warning that the league's refusal to pivot to the new school will doom the old school. The tension is boiling over, the veterans don't want to share the stage, the rookies are getting hurt, and the commissioner is silent.